fucking inappropriate.
It's like, is this black enough for you? I don't know. You like something in black?
You fucked her eye so good she cried cum. That's so wrong.
Listen, yeah, nut come out her other good eye. Then I might gotta slap her. I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's so fucking inappropriate.
It is so big.
Then I put his head right under my balls. He's gonna jump. I'm gonna flip him up to where his dick is right here in my face.
So fucking inappropriate. So fucking inappropriate. So fucking inappropriate.
All right, everybody, and welcome to a weird part of the internet you really probably haven't realized you found yet. That's right. Here's a disclaimer right up front. We say naughty things. You have found the Inappropriates podcast. It's the only podcast that's going to cover those top 10 lists that you didn't know you really needed and do the Mary Fuck skill for people you probably didn't know we wanted to do any of that too. Right now, here's your host, Matt and Nate.
Welcome back to Season 2 of the Inappropriates. This is the first episode of Season 2, and we do have a special guest. But before I introduce the special guest, we have to do that fake ad read. Today's episode is brought to you by Arsonist Only, the only app where a guaranteed match.
That's right, folks. Have you ever gotten out of jail after setting your third 7-Eleven on fire and thought, will anyone ever love me? That's right. Head on over to Arsonist Only, where you're going to strike a match, find some sparks, and quite possibly have that long flame burning relationship you've always dreamed of having. Have you ever went, man, that Burger King's burning like a motherfucker, but I wish someone was here to enjoy that with? Well, now you can. That's right. Based on our special algorithm and matches, we are going to match you up by your favorite fire accelerant type. That's right. It doesn't matter about tit size, looks, or even feet. It's, are you going to be matched with your gasoline type? Are you going to be matched with your napalm type? Are you going to be matched with your straight up old style kindling matches type? That's right. There's no age restrictions on this app. Only fire starters to warm your heart. This is brought to you by Arsonist Only on today's episode.
And that is how it's done. Arsonistonly.com. So how are you doing today, Ricky?
I swear to God, if you do a farmanimalsonly.com, I'm not doing that far. I'd rather read.
I'm good. How are you?
So our special guest today, actually a little backstory quick though. It was supposed to be my wife, but unfortunately she had to work. So this was a last minute decision. We brought in coworker, known as my left hand at work.
I know what he does with the right.
Should be more worried about what he does with the left.
But this,
I'm a stranger. What can I say?
But this is none other than the Ricky. I think we've brought you up a couple times on the podcast, maybe.
Oh.
You don't listen, so never mind. Maybe we won't bring you up ever again.
I showed up, showed greatness, then disappeared.
What is the topic that you have given us today? The top 10.
Top 10 Marvel characters. Could be heroes, villains, anything and everything.
Are you ready for this, Matthew?
Yeah. Do we need to sound a nerd alert bell or anything?
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm here
I
for
think
it.
we've all delved down that rabbit hole at least several times in our life. I mean, it only is a multi-billion-dollar film franchise now, but covering all the heavy hitters.
Have we done any Marvel stuff? We've done a year of episodes now, and I can't remember if we've done top 10.
Let me flip back through here real quick.
I know I did a podcast with my brother before, top 10 superheroes and villains. But I can't remember if you and I think we've just discussed it. I don't think we've ever actually did the podcast. So
I think we've done a lot of
I know there's a lot of wrestling.
Marvel's come up several different ways throughout the podcast. I don't think we've actually just done an episode on it, though.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing just a straight out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we get into it, you know how you have listened to a few episodes, so you do know how this goes. we will randomly hit you with some Mary Fuck kills. But before we get into the top 10, which we'll start at 10, what is about Marvel? Are you more of a Marvel guy than DC, or did you just say Marvel superheroes or Marvel characters?
Primarily Marvel guy. Growing up, Dad was a big fan of Marvel. I know that I liked the Avengers a lot when growing up. Got really big into the MCU. At some point, though, I ended up finally checking out the comic books, and I wanted to start off with like the X-Men, which a lot of my list has to deal with people around the X-Men. But that's kind of where I dove very hard into them because their stories are very good.
Okay. Who wants to? You want to give us number 10 then, or do you want to start, Matthew? How do we want to do this?
Go ahead, man. Your episode, your list. Go ahead and start us off.
Okay. I should probably also specify that with my list, I based it around the fact that a lot of my characters are from the comics. There's a little bit of MCU in here, but it's mainly comic books, as well as I also started reading the X-Men at 1963, and I'm up to 1991. So if cool stuff happens to characters after 1991, I don't really know about it yet.
Okay.
But so this is kind of where the start of my list is.
I apologize. I forgot to get you a notepad yesterday. You did ask me for a notepad so that you can make a list, and I see that you're using your phone, so I failed you. I'm sorry.
We're in a digitized world. It's okay. I got you covered. So for number 10, I went with Multiple Man, primarily because I've got a couple notes for it. He's oftentimes a comedy character, but whenever he does end up getting serious, it is very entertaining. He reminds me a lot of an anime I watch, My Hero Academia. There's a character called, I think, Two-Face, and his whole deal is the fact that he makes dupes, kind of like Multiple Man. And in the comic, Multiple Man starts to see his dupes as actually alive. So it's one of those, more often than not, he's actually scared to use his power at times because he's essentially creating life. And if that dupe comes back, he kind of takes that life away. And for me, his story really kind of picked up in X Factor. And it's one of those, he's very entertaining because, like, they took what was supposed to be a comedy character because he's all about jokes and made it very serious for him because he, like, goes through depression of realizing that him using his powers all throughout the year, he's been killing himself in a way. And there's also very interesting parts where sometimes there'll be times where he can't tell who the real Multiple Man is because there's so many dupes that everyone thinks that they're the real Multiple Man. So it becomes very complex because which one's the real me? That type of mentality. But yeah, that was my number 10 for top 10 Marvel characters.
If this is the way it's going to go, we're in trouble. I don't have as much detail as this man has. I know about things, but I don't have as much detail for this list right now. So you might be the informative part of this podcast, unless Matthew has a...
That was me trying to be as brief as possible, since that's my number 10. Once we get to number 1, yeah, very detailed.
Okay.
But yeah, sorry.
You're good. Take it away, Matthew.
All right, so I did not stick with just the one comics that I've read over the I did branch out to more than just one tenth of the Marvel universe that you got right there. So, locking in at number 10 for me is someone who's just started, I would say, getting a little bit of love from the MCU universe as far as the cinematic end of it goes, but that is Black Bolt.
Oh,
Black Bolt was the leader of the Inhumans. And Black Bolt is one of those sleeping characters that has so much power, he has destroyed planets basically on a whim. He doesn't say a whole lot due to the fact that his voice is so powerful, it will rip people down to an atom level. So he speaks mind to mind with his wife most of the time, and she's basically his mouthpiece. So, of course, his wife was Medusa, which was... one of the killer redheads of Marvel, by the way. Anyhow, but yeah, Black Bolt's just always one of those characters that was super fascinating to me. Loved reading, a lot of those books. The two biggest characters I always picked up that book for was Black Bolt and another character called Lockheed, which Lockheed was a pretty much a bulldog that was mutated over and had powers and was a very incredible part of that team. So, but yeah.
So a lot of yours, well, pretty much all of yours are going to be like strictly from the comics and
Which
everything.
I will say, Multiple Man did make an appearance, I believe, in X-Men 3. Very short, very small cameo, but I believe he was. I think it was either X2 or X3.
He
did
Last
have.
Stand.
It was Last Stand.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
part of the Brotherhood,
Because they were trying. They thought they found the whole group of mutants in the woods, and it turned out it was just him and a whole bunch of his clones standing there in the middle of the woods. So it was a nice little nod that they threw to some of those obscure characters in that movie.
Yeah.
But yours are basically going to primarily come from the comics that you've read.
Yeah.
Sounds like yours are going to be probably comics and the MCU and probably the cartoons, because we talked about the cartoon a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We both grew up on the animated cartoon.
That cartoon has come up in several conversations for us.
The same for me. That's going to be I have avid comic collector reader, MCU, also the animated series, but also I'm going to bring in toys that I remember having as a kid. I was big on collecting the Hasbro, I believe, like X-Men and Spider-Man and stuff. So a lot of those have a lot of nostalgia for me, and that makes me like a character for whatever reason it may be. So a lot of those are going to come up on my list for various different reasons or whatever. Number 10, however, is not for that reason. Number 10 is just because I have some weird infatuation with vampires and Dracula to be specific. Dracula is a character in the Marvel Universe, Tomb of Dracula. It's based off of Count Dracula, the Bram Stoker's book, whatever. So yeah, my number 10, Dracula. Simple as that. I am a huge vampire Dracula fan.
I thought that
So
was going in a whole different direction. I'm not even going to lie.
what direction did you
I
think?
thought you were going to say Blade.
Same.
I
Thought it was gonna
really
be
thought
Blade.
you were going to say Blade. Which I just realized is not on my list. So I'm kind of.
Ooh.
I would have a whole freaking list of honorable mentions.
Oh
just
yeah,
for this,
yeah, me
but,
too.
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of figured you were going to go Blade on that, but you didn't. Okay, all right, cool.
Kind of surprised me a little.
You're like, I like vampires. I'm like, oh, this is Blade.
For
Oh,
sure.
Fucking Christ, never mind. Because I was gonna be pissed off. You said like Morbius. I was gonna be like, dude,
I also like Morbius. Like I said, I love.
shit film, great character, but shit.
It was not.
film.
Oh, wait, hold on. First of all, no, it wasn't. Fucking Jared Leto was fantastic as
His
Morbius.
performance was bad. Just the film was
It
poorly
wasn't
written, poorly
really
shot.
that. It really wasn't that bad. Anyways, back to what I was originally going to say, though. When you were talking about Black Bolt, Inhumans, have you watched the series?
I have not.
It is good. It got shit on just like everything else gets fucking shit on, but it is good, and it portrays Black Bolt and his powers and everything. Have you seen it? I believe it's on Disney.
I have not.
Okay. And if you ever get a chance, check it out. Especially if you don't know. Do you know things about Black Bolt like he was talking about? Are you familiar with him at all?
I honestly don't know a whole lot about the Inhumans. That said, I do think Black Bolt's probably my favorite out of what I do know of the Inhumans, just because, like Matt said, very powerful,
Black
very
Bolt
cool.
once fought Odin to a stalemate. They
Yeah,
destroyed
like-
7 planets in the process.
And how he like leveled a mountain with a whisper, like
Yes.
I knew zilch about the Inhumans until I just happened to see that. I think on Disney. So I started watching it with my wife. We both loved it, and I was like, "Oh, I like these guys." So I started buying the comics and checking out, and I learned more about Black Bolt and Medusa. Medusa's amazing, also. So, just wanted to say that. But Morbius movie was not that bad.
my
It's hard for me to not like a movie, though. I'll be honest.
My big gripe with Morbius is I feel like they shouldn't have made it where the brother killed the people. I think it should have just been Morbius like losing control. So that way it would have taught him, hey, if I do lose control of the vampire feeding, then people can die. And that way you could create a real anti-hero instead of just another character where, oh, I thought I was the villain, but no, it's actually my brother type of deal.
The problem is they don't have any plan for him after that. It was a standalone movie, and that's all they had.
It's Sony.
That's-
Yeah.
It's Sony.
A lot like Craven. I really hope they continue that movie
Yeah.
in another sequel, because Craven the Hunter was...
Fantastic.
Okay,
For an
I thought
origin
you were getting ready to
story
say that
and
sucked.
setting up, Craven the Hunter was fantastic.
Okay, I thought you were getting ready to say that sucked. I was like,
No,
are you serious?
I love the way that one played out, actually. Like, the very end where he puts on that classic Craven
Fantastic.
vest. And I wasn't really sure about the dude playing the character in the beginning, but the
At the
longer
end,
it
yep.
went on,
Agreed.
the more I was like, yeah, okay, I can see this. This is going to be Craven. This is going to be good. And in the beginning, I'm like, I don't see this as being. I don't see him pulling this character off. It's surprisingly enough, he pulled the character off.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the way he did it. And he didn't have to be some massively over-muscled bound dude like he's always been portrayed in the comics. You know, they visually portray the strength in the comics where he just literally went through, you know, in my mind, it was more of a Tarzan-style character because of him having all the attributes of the animal world. He wouldn't be able to be that big and be that agile, which they played perfectly in the way they shot the film, which was phenomenal.
Agreed.
So,
I think the only reason why that movie got hate was the way Rhino looked. And I mean, to me, it wasn't really that bad. Overall, it was a really good film.
it was probably one of the better Rhinos that I've seen
Yeah.
adaptations of and everything else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but really, there's 100 different ways you can take that look and what that is. I didn't like Mech Rhino from the Spider-Man series. I kind of thought that
They
was,
teased the
you
fight,
know,
too, and it never happened.
Yeah, it never happens. It never happens. So, all right, numeral 9. What we got, my man?
So for number 9, I've got Ultron. With Ultron, it's the fact that I love the comic series Age of Ultron. The fact that you literally have a character that once he gets rolling, no one can stop him. In the Age of Ultron comic, the fact that the only way they were really able to stop Ultron was going back in the past. I mean, they even had a plan of going in the future to try and stop him, and Ultron was already ready for him. But Ultron to me has always looked super cool. The concept behind just once something gets rolling, it's unstoppable. His relationship with Hank Pym, I've always loved. MCU wise, I've always been a sucker for the movie Age of Ultron, and it set up a lot for the MCU in regards to the Infinity Gauntlet. And I'll also say that for What If, like, they did a lot for Ultron in What If as far as the Infinity version of Ultron. But always loved him as a character as well. But that's my number 9.
All right. So you are choosing not X-Men.
Yeah, there are some characters that are not X-Men based, and
All
just guys I've loved over the years.
Gotcha. Okay. Matthew.
All right, so my number 9 is going to be a little more on the obscure side, but it's Gladiator.
Okay.
Gladiator has had like almost zero love in any movie or anything else. Like, he's not really had any kind of screen time whatsoever.
Rumor he is going to be in the next one. I don't know how much truth there is to that. But if we're talking about the same one, the Mohawk intergalactic gladiator guy.
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure we're talking about the same person. Okay.
I don't know. He was one of those interesting characters that when he made appearances in comic books, there was always something about the character where you kind of were just forced to take note that he was there, what he was doing, how he was doing it. His vast range of power and abilities just kind of kept everyone on their toes, and you're just like, God, if this guy ever turns bad, it's going to get ugly as shit. But you know, I'm not going to say a whole lot for anyone who is wondering what that character is. Just go look it up, go study a little bit. He's truly, in my opinion, one of the badasses of Marvel that people just don't realize is there. And people don't realize just what all this character can pull out and actually do, what all this character has the ability to do. And one of those little hidden gems of Marvel, in my opinion.
If I remember right, he was in the X-Men 97 series, wasn't he?
For a short time, I believe.
Yeah, because like one of the things he did was like he basically threw around the Juggernaut, which is not an easy feat, just to kind of showcase a little bit of his power.
Juggernaut posed very, very minimal to no threat to him whatsoever. It was pretty child's play-ish for him.
He is rumored to be in one of the upcoming Avengers movie, either Doomsday or the following one or something. I'm hoping, because I'm with you. He's obscure, but I am aware of who he is.
Well, he has played a lot into the realm of Avengers comics, and a lot of times shows up on a lot of these wildly intergalactic battles that needs a tide turned because, he's off saving the galaxy somewhere else.
One thing about his aesthetic, that's one thing to me that draws me to characters is their aesthetic, and he just has like a crazy unique aesthetic in my opinion. That's why I said like the mohawk. That's one thing I remember about him.
Yeah,
and
and
his big fucking red cape and everything.
I've never seen an artist portray him in a bad way. You know, I mean, like there's a lot of different, especially with the X-Men over the years. There's a lot of different ways they've been portrayed, uniform-wise. The way they've been drawn, I'm like, it's not my favorite. It's kind of, I mean, the writing's still good, but god damn, they really should have done something different with that artwork. He's never had. I've never had that issue like watching reading anything that he's been in.
Yeah.
They've always drawn him pretty badassly, like across every arc of comic he's ever been in. It's just like, damn. So
One thing that Marvel, DC, probably all of them, are really bad at though are names. A lot of them are really generic. Gladiator's not terrible, but I mean a lot of other names.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's a guy on a surfboard and he's silver. What do we call him? Silver Surfer.
You're an X Factor person. I brought this person up on podcast with my brother, and he was like, "What? Strong Guy?
Yes.
What a fucking name is that? I love Strong Guy, but come on. I mean, all right, anyways, back to the podcast.
I mean, they do it in anime too. You have One Punch Man. Ooh.
Number 9. Not so much of a unique name either, but it's still pretty badass. And it's none other than Frank Castle, a.k.a. the Punisher. He is a man who fights crime in his own way because he witnessed his wife and kid be murdered by the mob. You guys know who he is. He wears the fucking skull on his chest. When I think Punisher now, however, I think John Bernthal.
Absolutely.
Like, you think Wolverine, you think Hugh Jackman, you think Deadpool, you think Ryan Reynolds. You think Punisher, you think John Bernthal. No one ever should play Punisher ever again in my eyes other than John Bernthal.
John Bernthal was phenomenal.
Yes.
This only one second to him would probably be Thomas Jane, in my opinion. He did a really good job of bringing him to the market in the way he did.
Is that the one that played him in the movie that John Travolta was also in? That I swear John Travolta played the Punisher?
Yes.
Okay. This has also been brought up on previous podcasts because I suffered from a Mandela effect or something. But I remember a poster of John Travolta as the Punisher. I remember a movie poster. It's vivid in my head. I remember it, but it never happened. So
No, it did not.
You guys are referring to the actual Punisher.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Whatever.
No, Thomas Jane, who played the actual Punisher in the first Punisher film. That was
In your universe.
That was absolutely. We already told you. We're pretty sure you saw this poster at, and you didn't.
I still watched it.
If I remember right, that's one where Kevin Nash was one of the villains, right? For the
Yes.
Punisher.
Yes, Kevin Nash was one of because he was in the apartment building where he stayed at.
One of my favorite little tidbits from that movie is the idea, I guess they were supposed to be a stunt knife that somehow got switched with a real knife. And during the movie, he actually, the actor who played Punisher, actually stabbed Kevin Nash with a real knife. And Kevin Nash ended up pulling it out, so the blood you actually see is his actual blood. They kept the take. And they talked about how, like, Kevin Nash being a badass just, like, kept rolling with it. And after it, the actor apologized to him, and Kevin Nash goes, "Tell you what, you buy me a beer, we'll call it even." And just, yeah, like...
I need the biggest, tallest fucking beer you got.
Right.
Before we move on to number 8, you bring up Kevin Nash, which that makes me think of NWO, which makes me think of Tip, the shirt that I'm wearing, thanks to Matthew's wife. But that makes me think of our new entrance music for season 2. I paid Philip, who we work with also, to make us some entrance music and pay homage to NWO in the beginning of it. So anyone listening now, if you're a wrestling fan, hopefully you caught that. If not, listen to it back. The first little bit of it is a homage to NWO. So
No copyright infringement intended.
well, there is none because it's an homage and I paid for it. So too sweet. All right, number 8.
Wolfpack.
Number 8 for me being Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom to me is probably one of the most complex characters in Marvel. For me, I personally see him as a hero more so than a villain.
Is this pre or post getting the powers of the Beyonders?
I want.
That's two very different Doctor Dooms.
I'm more or less talking about the Doctor Doom where he looked at multiple realities and seeing the only one with true peace is him being ruler and him being the winner, essentially.
Yeah, that sounds so much like a hero.
Well, what's funny is like there's comics where he does gain the powers of a god, and instead of like being evil, he actually fixes things and he actually makes the world better. And that's where, for me, I've always seen Doctor Doom as a really cool character because, like, anytime you look at him, you can kind of see his point of view and kind of see, okay, he's the good guy that'll do the bad thing for the right reason. That's the best way I could kind of.
He is
explain
the
it to
only
me.
character in Marvel Universe that survived the Marvel Zombies outbreak.
Exactly.
So,
I will also say there's a spin-off comic that I love called Marvel Zombies, and it's part of the Marvel Zombies universe. It's Ash from Evil Dead meets Marvel Zombies, and in it, Ash ends up meeting Doctor Doom, and there hits a portion where Doctor Doom is the only one keeping what's left of humanity alive from the zombie infection. Well, zombies end up breaking in. Doctor Doom does what he can to save people. A little bit of time passes, you end up finding out that Doctor Doom ended up building a interdimensional portal to get people to a different reality, understanding that this reality is just, it's fucked. And in it, Ash is kind of talking to Doctor Doom, and Ash even notes, like, you don't look so good. And Doctor Doom says, well, I've been infected. I'm basically saying he is a zombie. And he goes, I'm fighting back every fiber of my being to not just feed on you guys, but the will of doom always stands. And it's one of those, like, to me, that's always kind of shown one of Dr. Doom's best features is the fact that his willpower is just second to none, basically. But yeah, that's my number 8, Dr. Doom.
All right. Real quick before you give yours, thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom?
I think it could be good, but I hope that they kind of make reference the fact that he looks like Tony Stark, so that way maybe you could have some interesting moments between Doctor Doom and Spider-Man. But if they play it off like Robert Downey Jr. didn't play Iron Man, that's where I'm like, I don't think it'll be that good. But I hope that they kind of just play it off like, okay, this is an Iron Man from another reality that became Doctor Doom instead of Iron Man. Like something happened in his past where
that
it
throws the
changed.
whole origin story off. So, I don't know. I think they have to almost ignore that fact to make it right. And personally,
It's possible. I mean,
I mean,
it's a wait and see. Hopefully they do it right.
isn't that out?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause he's going to debut in what? Avengers Doomsday?
Doomsday,
right?
yeah.
Well, no,
I think it comes out next year.
he played Doom in the last Fantastic Four movie.
Well,
Didn't he?
yeah,
Okay.
he did,
Well,
but
that's
they
not
didn't
like-
really show him like his face or his
Yeah,
mask.
it wasn't like a major role. It was just a little bit. Yeah.
Excuse me. Pardon.
What's your number 8?
All right, so my number 8, actually, my original number 8 has been substituted. So my official on the list number 8 is Nightcrawler. What? Nightcrawler is probably my second favorite X-Men of all time. He was just one of those. He was just one of those insanely scary but cool looking X-Men that was probably the coolest, kindest person that they ever put into the comic books. And he was just one of those genuinely good-hearted people all the way around. Genuinely wanted to help people in every aspect and every manner. The only person who was probably matched him on that level was probably Colossus, because Colossus was along the same lines. And both of them had mutations that drastically altered their look, but they never let that define who they were and their ability to genuinely help people. So Zeus lost his place at number 8 for Nightcrawler.
Okay. Number 8 is the first X-Men on my top 10. He possesses superhuman agility, the ability to teleport. He has adhesive hands and feet. He is blue, and he's the reason I chuckled when you said you're number 8.
Hey, we matched again.
Because my number 8 is Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler.
Absolutely.
Twinsies.
We're getting pretty good at this matching thing.
We hit once in a while. We do.
Yeah.
He's a solid character, and like
Yeah.
you said, one of the most caring people in all of Marvel, which it's one of the reasons why I've always loved that he looked like a devil, because it's the whole don't judge a book by its cover. Most people look at him like a devil or a demon, when in reality he's one of the nicest individuals in Marvel.
I mean, when you look at why X-Men books were popular, why they were written to combat prejudice, and they were written to combat how we look at individual people in our lives, you know, kind of letting you know that, hey, look, not everyone is as they seem, which is why some of those characters got really outlandish, but ended up being like some of the best characters you'd read about in that book. And it was one of those kind of comic books that just reinforced, you know, moral lessons every single issue somewhere. Which I think is why X-Men has probably stood the test of time for so long, because, I mean, it wasn't about race. It was just about being prejudiced toward anybody in general. And that was, you know, it's always going to be around somewhere. And we just have to, you know, teach our kids it's just not really the proper attitude to have on how we look at people in the world. So the X-Men has always been one of those forefront in that story-driven moral lesson, in my opinion, that kids not only like, but they gravitate to. And I think that's important if you're going to try and teach any kind of moral lesson, and you make it to where the kids want to see, want to hear more, want to, you know, kind of delve into what's there. So, yay, wholesome moment of the show.
Well, wholesome moment, inappropriate moment. It's time for the first Marry Fuck Kill.
Dun, dun, dun.
A special guest. You can choose which cards you want to do there in front of you. The pink or the blue.
We'll go blue.
Of course we will.
Let's draw on this one. So I got John Mayer, Jamie Foxx, and Tobey Maguire.
Nice. All right.
2 musicians and 2 actors. Yay.
Jamie Foxx is far more than. Wait, you said 2 mid. Okay, never mind. He other things too. You could have said comedian. Could have said
Jamie Foxx does it all.
exactly.
I was going with what they had in common, not necessarily the Jamie Foxx's plethora.
Which one do you want to fuck? Come on.
of fucking. Good God. I don't want to fuck any of them if you want the truth. So we're probably killing John Mayer. Out of all 3 of them, I don't know any of his songs and could care less. Since we're going to the Marvel theme, fucking the hell out of Spider-Man. And marrying Jamie Foxx, because in the long-term run, Jamie Foxx is going to be way cooler to hang around than Tobey Maguire. And I'm not knocking on Tobey Maguire, but, I mean, dude, it's Jamie Foxx, so what do you want me to say?
Okay. A little bit different. I'm killing Tobey Maguire because out of the 3, actually, first of all, out of the Spider-Mans, he's my least favorite. And then out of those 3, he's the least attractive.
Damn.
John Mayer, while I'm not really into his music, I'm pretty sure he probably has good music at least. He's popular. Women seem to love him. So I guess I'll take the night with John Mayer, and I'm with you. Jamie Foxx, seeing how he was on the top 10 men I'd be gay for list, Jamie Foxx is going to get a ring on it.
And when Nate proposes, all he's going to hear is, I'd say she a gold digger.
Oh yeah, it's me.
How about you, sir?
You dealt it, now you must smelt it.
I'm probably gonna kill John Mayer. Same reason as Matt. Don't really know too much of his music.
We probably just offed a very nice person. I'm just saying.
Poor guy.
I'm going to look him up and be like, oh, God damn it. He has a charity for orphans. God damn it. Gave a free concert for kittens. Jesus, what an asshole. Oh, sorry.
Probably gonna fuck Tobey Maguire and marry Jamie Foxx, primarily because I've seen what Tobey Maguire does to the press, so I don't want to be part of that marriage. I'm good. That and
He does the what?
have you ever seen the whenever people are like taking photos of him when he's just out in public? He looks like he's ready to kill somebody.
All right, so good news for Jamie Foxx. You have 3 fucking hetero dudes that would marry you.
Plenty of candidates.
Without question, too.
No Diddy.
I felt like there was some Diddy there.
I mean, honestly, if you're marrying Jamie Foxx, there's probably some Diddy happening there. Like,
Just a little ditty.
it's it's BYOBO. Bring your own baby along. Or he may open the door and be like, "Hit the road, Jack." All right, I'm good. I'm Jack.
All right.
Just call me Jack Shit, and I'm hitting the road.
Number
All right.
7. So.
Numeral 7. We got that out of the way. Thanks, queer. Jesus Christ. Hey, you can choose. Let's go with the dudes. Yeah. It's already a sausage fest in this booth, and now it's just like, let's add 3 more dicks to it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's a total of 12 balls. Unless some of us has a genetic defect, then it's 13 balls. We got baker's dozen of nuts up in here. We're going to be 2 dudes short by the time we're done killing them. We're going to be stroking some shit. Like Spider-Man had a field day up in this bitch.
You got to give your number 7 or he's going to keep going.
I'm trying.
I call Ghostbusters. There's ectoplasma everywhere in here.
Number 7's Mystique.
Oh, something mysterious was happening up in that bitch. They walked in after we were done. We got to clean this motherfucker. Oh, sorry. All right, Mystique. Breathe.
I'm trying.
That's the only way you're going to get through it. I feel some pressure. This is an invasive podcast, folks. Intrusive a little bit.
Oh, this thing's going off the rails.
It was never on. It never was.
We don't even have rails. We put tracks on the train. We go wherever the fuck it goes. We're just out there like a random tank.
All right, so Mystique. I've always seen her as a very complex character. I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
That's a Smurf I'd fuck right there. I ain't lying.
Oh. Very complex character. Her relationship with Rogue, I've always thought was very fascinating in the comics. One of the things about, at least... Sorry. One of the things that, as far as with Rogue's backstory, is very interesting is the fact that Mystique actually wasn't a bad mom. It's one of those, she just simply wanted to kind of get away and find people that could kind of help Rogue with her powers and her abilities. So she went to go the X-Men. Mystique obviously kind of protested this and kind of said, hey, I can help you. This is not the way to go. But Rogue kind of made that decision like, well, these people... Professor X takes people under his wing that don't really understand their power and help them understand it better. And to that, Mystique was kind of like, well, if this is your decision, then I'm going to respect it, and I'm going to leave it be. I'm still going to have to go after the X-Men, but know that, like, you will always have a home with me. And that's where, as comics kind of go on, Mystique gets very interesting because, like, she wants to take down the X-Men, but at the same time, her daughter is part of the X-Men. And it's one of those situations where it's like, she can't just go in all gun-ho in fear of hurting Rogue. But at the same time, she also sometimes sees that, hey, if she takes out the X-Men, her daughter will come home. And that's where, for me, I've always seen her as a very complex character just because, like, it's not as simple as just, oh, let's take down the heroes. It's my daughter's a part of it, and how do you kind of handle that? And that and her work in Freedom Force, for me, was also really cool. primarily because like it was kind of Brotherhood 2.0, only it was her working with the government. And there was a lot of moments where Mystique actually went out of her way to save her team. There's one of the people that would be on my honorable mentions is Pyro, where there's a mission where the Freedom Force, there's like 7 members and 3 of them get killed off. And there's a moment where the other 2 are incapacitated and you got Pyro and Mystique and they're surrounded. And Mystique basically tells Pyro, hey, get out of here. Like, save yourself while you can. But due to Mystique actually caring for her team, Pyro flat out looks at her and basically says, no, this team is a ride or die team. If you're going down, we're going down with you. And it kind of showed how much Mystique genuinely cares for the people around her, that she's not just a generic villain. But that is my number 7 being Mystique.
All right.
Yeah, I always viewed Mystique as a mutant that was just caught on the wrong side and didn't know how to, couldn't really switch. She had way too much loyalty to Magneto after a while, and she couldn't really. I think she wanted to believe in his end goal, but not necessarily how he got there. But she was kind of along for the ride at that point.
Yeah.
You know, because Mystique actually had 2 kids.
Yeah, Nightcrawler.
Which was Nightcrawler and Rogue. So they were actually siblings. And I think Nightcrawler was put out there as Nightcrawler and Rogue. I think Rogue embodied a lot of her mother's anger in a lot of areas because she did struggle with that for the most part, especially in the story arc between her and the Dazzler. And whereas Kurt was everything that was good about Mystique, and he embodied everything that was. So when you look at both those characters and you combine them, you have Mystique in the end.
2 sides of the same coin.
Yep.
I have nothing to add. I always just thought Mystique was a hot blue chick that I wanted to fuck. So
I do want to say I love the X-Men movies, but they are so far off from the comics sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not Wolverine, you didn't get enough love. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, every Marvel film was drastically off from the comics. If you want the truth, I don't think there was any of them that followed it very closely.
Yeah.
WandaVision was very loosely based on a different story arc, because she has been known to create different dimensions and different realities, and you know what she can do in that. But that's
why I've always been a big advocate for just every superhero and villain to get their own origin story movie. Every single one. I don't get the most minuscule one.
That'll be the next 30 years.
That's fine. What's wrong with that?
But origin films.
Everyone would want. Well, not everyone, but a large majority of people would watch it. Me, I would watch every one of them.
Would you watch the origin story to Condiment Man?
Sure.
Just asking for a friend.
This summer, ketchup and mustard get a new name.
Exactly.
I had this debate at a previous place.
Critics are saying you'll relish this film.
A person was a big fan of Squirrel Girl. Sure.
Dude, Squirrel Girl actually took down Thanos.
I would watch his fucking origin story of Squirrel Girl.
Ridiculous what they've written into that comic book art.
But people don't know this stuff.
Destroying the Earth. Yeah.
So why not make an origin story?
She fought Galactus to a stalemate. Like,
yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, I wouldn't really say that would be origin story material, but I mean, Squirrel Girl, they were debating on doing a TV spinoff of Squirrel Girl, I think, on Disney. I think they canned it. I probably would have given that one, I probably attempted to have given that one a watch, because that's one of those obscure Marvel characters that almost nobody knows, that has a very small, like, dedicated fan base.
Yeah.
That would, you know.
I'd watch them all. Every one of them, I'd watch them all. I didn't say they had to be good. I just said to do them, and we'd watch them.
I'm 20 minutes in, man. It's an endurance test. I don't know how much longer I can go.
The good ones, there'd be sequels. The not good ones, it'd be done. Let Netflix do it, because Netflix knows how to fucking do a series. Just saying. Punisher, Daredevil, fucking all of those.
You like Morbius, you've lost this argument.
Shut up. Shut up.
Are we only on number 7? No. Yes.
Yes, you're on number 7.
Yeah, number 7.
All right, so number 7 for me does come into one of the what I would call heavy hitters of the Marvel Universe. I've always thought it was an interesting, complex character, but I also thought that, you know, the more that opens up around who this person is, how he kind of got the way he got, and how almost unlimited this person's powers are, the more intriguing of a character it has become. I am talking about none other than the big green meanie, the Hulk. And people don't realize just how strong Hulk is. Hulk actually took a direct blast from Black Bolt and lived. I mean, we're talking about a guy who leveled a mountain with a whisper.
Yeah.
Literally started ripping atoms out of him, and he basically was able to Hulk in his most angriest form, knock him down, and that was about it. Kind of took him to he crawled away to, kind of heal and get back to the center of who he was. But it even shocked Black Bolt that he didn't basically disintegrate. So when you look at the strength of what that is, like basically it knocked him out and woke up on a space. I don't know what it is about Hulk's friends putting him on a spaceship and shipping him off planet, but it's happened several times. But yeah, for me, the Hulk, the more you delve into Hulk as not just what some people call world breaker Hulk or the Hulk that is just smash and bash. It's actually a lot more of a complex character than most people give it credit for. So for me, number 7 comes in at the Hulk.
Okay. My number 7, and I'll be perfectly honest, I did not know much about this character until he was portrayed by Michael B. Jordan. He is the adversary to Black Panther. Ouch. He holds a grudge against Wakanda and its people because his parents were killed when he was a child. And that is Eric Killmonger. I think his concept as a character is just a really cool idea, why he holds the grudge and whatnot. I think his aesthetic, of the way he, again, how Michael B. Jordan portrayed him, the way he looked and everything, and to be, what's the word I'm looking for? The adversary, like Black Panther is this, Killmonger is this. What's the word? It's
The
eluding
arch
me.
enemy?
No. Like, not mirror image, but, people know what I'm trying to say.
Worst game of charades, just saying.
Yeah. But
He is the yin to the yang, so to speak.
yeah, we'll go with that. There you go. Yeah. So I'm a
The
Bill.
antagonist is, I guess, what you would call him of the
Yeah,
film.
and
That wasn't the word I was looking for, but yeah, that too.
The other
yeah,
one's
yeah.
the protagonist, but
Yeah. So Eric Killmonger, that's my number 7.
and dude, don't like I said, people don't realize just how multifaceted of an actor that Michael B. Jordan really is.
No, yeah.
He's
Like-
fantastic.
Dude is phenomenal in everything I've seen him in. I mean, obviously he gets a lot of credit for the Creed films, which let's be real. I mean, phenomenal job playing in Creed films. But everything else that's been handed to him to be played, dude is crushed.
Fruitvale Station. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
I mean, here recently Sinners came out. Fucking
Sinners, watch it.
phenomenal, dude. Oh my God, dude, he plays such a great role in that film. Yeah, and once again, Killmonger, fantastic. If I had the amount of emotion and complexities he can portray in just like the stance before the fight scene, and like you're sitting here going, I don't know how much of this is acting or how much he just literally hates that dude on the other side of the ring, because there is just that raw. He can produce something that is just legitimately fantastic in every film that he portrays.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal dude, phenomenal actor. I love watching Michael B. Jordan films.
And that may be the only reason I like Killmonger, but it is the reason now that I think so highly of the character Killmonger.
I do think if it was acted by anybody else, the character would not have been as strong or where it needed to be. I honestly think he's one of the few actors that brought that character exactly where we needed to see that character be at. And just, I'm not sure anyone else could have pulled that off.
He made you feel for him. In some ways, he made you root for him, but at the same time, he's just a fantastic actor bringing a character to life.
He fits in that kind of small anti-hero kind of, niche of the comic book characters. Not necessarily he's always going to be the villain, portrayed as the villain. I would never put him in as a 100% an anti-hero, but he has that anti-hero kind of outlook in the way he's written. You're not really sure where he falls, but you always are going to pay attention when he's there. It's just a phenomenal thing that happens. So, Numeral 6, my man.
So for number 6, I have Magneto. Magneto has always been a very complex character. I think the comic that really did it for me was God Loves, Man Kills, where prior to it, there was moments where you could kind of see Magneto's point of view as far as like his war against the X-Men and against humanity. But God Love, Man Kills really showcased like the evil side of humanity, where in the beginning of the comic, they literally are hunting down mutant children, and they end up hanging the bodies in a playground. It's really messed up, and it's one of the one person to actually find it is Magneto, and you can really see like in those comic panels his anger towards humanity, because it's like they're hunting down children all because they were born a different way. And it's a fantastic comic. Cannot recommend enough to actually go read it, because it's just it showcases Magneto in the best way. It showcases the X-Men in the best way. It showcases, like you said earlier with the X-Men, where they're supposed to represent the minority, and that you shouldn't judge a book by a cover. You shouldn't judge a person based off of how they are, who they are, or how they are, or what they're born. You should judge them based off of their character. That also mixed with the fact that the X-Men 97, I guess it's considered a sequel, like the remake of the show X-Men 97,
series, yeah.
did that man so much justice. The courtroom scene with Magneto was fantastic. His entire portion of him in Genosha, and just love Magneto to death as a character. And again, he's one of those anti-hero characters where there's a lot of times you can kind of see his point of view, but at the same time, he has the right intentions, but sometimes goes about it the wrong way, making himself a hypocrite. But again, you can kind of sit there and see why he gets so angry with humanity at times.
When you look at Magneto's storyline, I mean, this is a guy who lived through the Holocaust. This is a guy who experienced the worst of humanity. So when he looks around, he sees the worst of humanity, which, kind of makes him a product of what he lived through to a degree. And that's when you got to really look at it. Is his viewpoint wrong? No. His viewpoint is overly valid. But at the same point in time, the X-Men's viewpoint's not wrong either, because they're able to see the opposite side of that, where there actually is decent people in the world. There actually is people worth saving. There actually is a way to make it better. And when you look at Magneto's past and everything he lived through, I understand why there was House of M. I understand why there was Asteroid M. I understand why there was a backup plan to every backup plan that he had. And most of them ensured mutual, if not massive, destruction on the other side because of everything he experienced and because of what was done to him. I mean, he was experimented on as a child, going through the Holocaust and everything else. So those scenes, when you look at where he came from and how he grew up, and then he finds, this is what you're referring to, children hanging in a playground. I mean, that's going to spark so much deep inner anger.
And it's justified.
And you understand why he is the way he is. You understand where he's coming from in that aspect. And that's what makes some of it, that's where the comic books and the stories, and I've always said that comic books, animated cartoons, and with what's coming out of Korea and Japan for years on end with anime in general, will be able to tell stories in ways that no film will ever be able to, and also on a whole different level than no film will be able to, because of how much more you can do with animation versus, live action. But I can honestly say most of the moral dilemmas I've ever sat in and had to contemplate through, the longest ones that I've ever had to contemplate about have all came from either anime, cartoons, or comic books. Because they portray this stuff, and when you look at it and when you think about it, you're going, Jesus, I would be absolutely no better.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely no better in that scenario.
You kind of mentioned it earlier. I mean, a lot of the writers of these comic books either grew up in or they were actually written during things like the Civil Rights era. Mm-hmm. Magneto and Professor Xavier. Magneto is Malcolm X. Professor Xavier is Martin Luther King.
Mhm.
If you think about it like that, I say that because I actually read that somewhere a long time ago when I was doing something. But I've
Their
always
actions were based
I've always
off
had that in my
the
mind.
speeches of each.
Yeah, exactly. Like the things that actually happen in society were influenced in these comics, and that's something. So
Oftentimes, stories are based off of real life events.
I mean, I believe it was Stan Lee
Influence, I should say.
who said that the X-Men was so close to his heart because when he was writing it, he was just looking around and going, and kids need to be able to deal with what's happening right now. Kids need to be able to deal with the aftermath of what's happening. Obviously, the X-Men has went much, much longer than the 60s when, it was kind of making its debut and doing it and kind of coming into what I say when I say debut, it really was coming into what it was. But that's when kids needed to hear about that stuff the most. It was happening around them. It was happening at their schools. It was happening in their neighborhoods. Like I said, it's just incredible how some of this stuff ties in. This is why you have adults who look back on those things in their childhood. Man, I love that. I remember that. That got me through this, and that helped me on that. It's that kind of media that kids nowadays don't really have. Not that I can tell. Not that I can see.
yeah,
So
the media's TikTok and Reels and shit.
pushing an agenda, not
Yeah.
teaching people to be good people.
What's your number 6, sir?
My number 6 has been mentioned slightly before. My number 6 is the Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch is... The more I delve into Scarlet Witch, the more awesome that fucking character actually becomes to me. Like, I was never a huge Wanda fan. I am. And oddly enough, tying into your number 7, she is Magneto's daughter.
Yeah.
So got a little family reunion happening here on number.
You did that with the previous one because
So
who was your other one? And then you mentioned Nightcrawler, Mystique and Nightcrawler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
well, Nightcrawler was 2 ago. I think Mystique came after that. But
okay, well either.
either way, I mean, Marvel Universe is going to be interconnected at some point. But and it's just interesting because you see a lot of Magneto in Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
You see a lot of her because she wasn't always with the the Avengers. She had very different views of how to handle a lot of the stuff that she didn't agree with what they did. And there's a lot of times she went off the rails, and good God, when she went off the rails, bad shit typically really went down because she went way off the rails. Which is why I think once her and Vision became an item, he was able to bring more balance to who she was versus, as loose cannon as she could be. Whereas Quicksilver was usually slightly more level-headed. So you started seeing the two sides of Magneto in both of his children there as well. So,
Not my next one, but the Quicksilver in the MCU, the guy who plays him, phenomenal. Also, like I want him to always play.
in the X-Men or in
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
there's 2
The
actors.
one that
of
also
Ultron?
plays Jeffrey Dahmer, and
So you're talking the X-Men one.
yeah, I just think he
Yes.
portrays him.
He also had many, many roles in
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story. Yeah. What the fuck
That
is
guy.
his name?
I don't know, but I think the
Chris
way he.
Evan? No.
I don't know. I think the way he
No.
portrays him though is just really fantastic. Sorry.
Evan. his
Everybody
name's
knows.
Evan something. Yeah. Anyway.
People know who to
Yeah.
talk about.
Phenomenal actor. Absolutely.
Not on my list. I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah. No. I loved him in the X-Men movies. I thought he was portrayed much, much better in the X-Men films than he was in the
I forget about the other
Avenger ones.
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. Yeah.
one. Yeah. All right. My number 6 then. So we have previously done a list of top 10 women that if masturbating to photos and videos of them got them pregnant. Well, if we did top 10 comic book characters that if masturbating to them got them pregnant, this one would fall on that list for me, and that is none other than the pickpocket herself, Aurora, is that how you say her name? Monroe, a.k.a. Storm. I have always had the fucking hots for her. Not to mention, I just thought her fucking character was just one of the coolest. Her abilities, be able to control the weather, and just her dominance when she walks into the fucking room with all of the other X-Men
You
and
just said he
whatnot.
wanted to
So
be dominated by Storm.
I'm perfectly fine with being dominated by Storm.
She walks in the room. You're my bitch tonight. He's like, okay.
I am not pleased with the person who played her in the movies, though. I think
Who,
someone else.
Halle Berry? Or...
Yes, Halle Berry.
Because who was the other person down the line? It wasn't Halle Berry every movie. It was,
when they did the Age of Apocalypse and the Dark Phoenix,
Yeah, it was
there
a different storm. I mean, I liked them both, honestly.
That
I
one was
thought they did
okay.
a decent-
I'm not a Halle
decent
Berry
job.
fan, so it shouldn't be Halle Berry. However, in future, it should be Jade Cargill. If you're listening, movie
I'm
makers,
not even-
Jade Cargill,
I'm
cast
not
Jade
even,
Cargill.
I'm not even going to lie. If Halle Berry puts on the storm outfit, I'm raw dogging the absolute fuck out of it.
That's all for you. I wasn't a fan. But Storm, my number 6.
So I do at least want to comment when it comes down to Storm. I thought about putting her on my list for her character. Go figure. But
That's why she's on here. I was just bringing up the fact that I also want to fuck the holy hell out of her because we are the inappropriates.
He means tits. She has great character. And for those of you listening, I'm miming grabbing boobs.
But yeah, her
I
work.
thought you were doing a hurricane, sorry.
Her work when they did the storyline.
I'll grab a
for
motorboat for it.
Sorry, what?
Her work when she ended up losing her powers did like wonders for her, as far as just her trying to cope with the idea she can't command storms. And there was a good portion where her and Cyclops were kind of going back and forth. She was the leader of the X-Men, but she doesn't have abilities. She doesn't have a way to protect the team. And she went up against Cyclops and actually beat Cyclops in a 1v1 without any powers.
Cyclops is a bitch, first of all. So let's just put that out there.
Moving on. But yeah, just they did great work with her because like they
Scott
showed
Summers. Sorry.
they did great work with her as far as just without her abilities, how she could kind of cope without that, and showed she was a very good character. But
Yes.
yeah,
That's why she's my number 6.
and boobs.
That's right, man. We're at number 5.
Her
We're at the
vagina's
halfway
always
point.
wet.
And if you're still with us and found out, just like Storm, you started a fire with a lightning bolt, jump on over to our sponsor today. Type in the promo code TIP, and let me tell you what happened. You're going to get a fire sale. Yes, you are. Off of 10% off of your next match. That's right. Yeah, there you go. That's double entendre for you.
Promo code just the tip.
You know you have to start doing that now. Like callbacks in the middle of the podcast to our fake sponsor. You have to do it now.
Yeah, match and fire sale came to mind. I'm
You
just like,
have
gotta
to do it
this
now. You just started
been
the season 2 by
pigeonholed
doing
into
it.
it now.
You have to.
Spoiler alert. The next one's brought to you by Lucky Louie's Lube. I am not doing a commercial on that. I barely got that out correct.
No, the next one is brought to you by Organic Valley because I couldn't say it right.
God damn, we got it right the first time.
Right? First take.
All right, number 5.
So for number 5, I went with Rachel Summers. She is the daughter of Cyclops and Jean Grey. She comes from the Days of Future Past timeline. She is one of the most depressing characters, and I kind of love it. Because, like...
It's the emo version of the X-Men.
pretty much. Like, there are comics where she was essentially a hound for humanity in Days of Future Past, forced to hunt down other mutants. So she actually got to witness a lot of that death. So her coming back to the past, her viewpoint is very twisted. But that said, it gets really interesting on how she kind of tries to cope with the idea of, okay, I'm in the reality where not everyone I love is dead. And they do a lot of mind tricks where, like, she'll sit there and whenever someone messes with her mind, she'll wake up in the Days of Future Past. And situations like that where it's like it's messing with her head where she doesn't know if she's really in the past or if it was all just a dream. My only downside with Rachel Summers, though, is the fact that with her, she has the powers of the Dark Phoenix, which makes her crazy powerful. But the problem is they keep sidelining her in stories where, like, she's always the first one to be taken out, or she's always taken out of the mix in some way, shape, or form. And, like, you never really get the full amount of Rachel Summers. And it's a little frustrating, but aside from that, like, her as a character, she's fantastic. It's depressing, and I love depressing media. But yeah,
I mean, there was a story arc where the X-Men got pulled to another world that was ran like a fighting reality show.
oh, Mojo's World.
Mojo's World, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rachel Summers was like the final boss of that world because he had her there.
Yeah.
And it was an insanely good. Like that's where she got a lot of what I would call page time at that point, where they really just kind of delved into because she was under some kind of insane amount of mind control. Psylocke was there and a few other things, and they just kept putting the X-Men against either themselves or people they'd worked with in the past that he had brought over, and was doing this just as this insane and like reality fighting show type thing. It was a really cool story arc, but Rachel Summers ended up being like kind of like the final boss type, fighter in that story arc, which was just super cool how it played out. But it really gave a lot of internal view as to her powers and more of who she was and what she was, susceptible to and how she could, become, I mean, she literally was throwing Storm and Wolverine around an arena like a rag dolls. Like there was nothing they could do.
She's one of the most complex characters, and I really hope that they do more with her down the line because, I mean, there's so much potential in storytelling with her in either the MCU or in, like, the X-Men 97 show.
Like if you really want a good origin movie that could branch off into its own branch of films that would almost be endless, I mean, Rachel Summers would be a phenomenal character to pull that off on,
Hands
honestly.
And enlighten me. Does she have a name besides Rachel Summers? Like, does she go by
I think she just goes by Rachel Summers.
Yeah.
She might go by, like, the Phoenix, but when you say the Phoenix, you think
like a
of
Jean
Jean Grey.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So super cool character.
Yeah.
So number 5 for me is one that apparently you have a grudge against, but it is a Silver Surfer for me because the Herald of Galactus, the Eater of Worlds. This is one of those characters that when you start looking at what he can do and why he looks and is the way he is, this is almost a throwaway character in the Marvel Universe for what I would say that for several reasons. Like, he does kind of show up. He is kind of there. Fantastic Four was his main run and storyline. But this character's power level is way undervalued, right? Like, when people like to pit Marvel versus DC and all those classic debates, Silver Surfer is one of those characters when people bring in and they start really looking at what he can do, everybody looks around and goes, oh shit, not even Superman's going to put a dent on this dude. He can absorb up to 7 exploding suns at a time. He has the ability to transmutate. He has the ability to transport. It's just absolutely insane the ability this particular thing has. And why he's the Herald for Galactus, the entire thing of that was to find planets that were uninhabited for him to eat in order to save his own planet of people so they weren't wiped out. Which, kind of brings me to that moral dilemma again. What do you do? And Galactus had his eyes set on Earth and was not going to budge. So the only thing he could do was warn them that it was coming and warn them that there was a God Eater or World Eater God that was going to come and destroy their entire existence. And then ended up helping defeat Galactus in the end over it, And it was just kind of one of those scenarios where they said, well, he doesn't leave here unless he's dead. And he was like, all right, well, now I'm going to help you fight because if he dies here, then my planet's going to be safe all the way around. So I don't know, just one of those complex characters that once I got into it, I went down rabbit holes on this character, man. It was such a cool character in the end. Even though, Silver Surfer, yeah, he flies around on quote unquote a surfboard.
I will say, to clarify, I do like Silver Surfer. More or less, just I always found his naming funny. You got a guy who's silver and he surfs. Well, we got Silver Surfer. But I also do like a little bit of his relationship towards Galactus because of all of Galactus's heralds, Silver Surfer is the one that he kind of cared for the most. I'm not sure what the comic was, but there's a comic out there where Silver Surfer's death basically happens, and Galactus kind of basically tells like Silver Surfer's planet, your planet will always be safe. You are under my protection, basically. Like, Galactus has so much love towards the Silver Surfer because the Silver Surfer understood what his job was and always listened to Galactus and always tried to just help him find worlds that were dead. Sometimes that wasn't the case. Sometimes, you know, you're passing by and you got to eat. But it's one of those, he's always had a lot of respect for Silver Surfer.
He was the only herald that wasn't in it for the power.
Exactly.
He was the only herald that actually had pure intentions behind what he did. Everyone else didn't care who was on a planet or what was on a planet.
Yeah.
And I think Galactus realized that this was the only one I had that actually wanted to put anything good out into the universe, which is why in the end, when he died, I'll never return to his planet.
Yeah.
I think what he said was, I will starve and die in the massive space before your planet gets, touched by me or my enemies.
It's very sweet from a planet destroying.
From a planet destroying God, right? Oh, you got a little twisted to a heart there,
All right, Nathan.
That's all you got for Silver Surfer? All right. My number 5 is probably the most generic one that we've had so far, but always enjoyed it as a child. Animated series, The Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So, number 5. I don't really think I need to say anything else. Everybody knows who fucking Spider-Man is.
Who is he? Oh, is that the...
Actually, his real name is Miles Morales, and...
I thought he went... Didn't he go to the name like Deadpool or something?
At one point, he was a pig, too.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. That is our list today. I may or may not be back next week.
Spider pig. Does whatever a spider pig does. Anyway.
So for my number 4, I've got Wolverine. Wolverine, similar to Spider-Man, don't really need to say a whole lot. One of the most complex characters. Anytime you read something, whenever there is his time with Weapon X, anytime he's fighting Sabretooth, anytime he's as Patch, I'm automatically in. I'm ready to read the entire thing in one sit down because Wolverine is just one of those characters that I get excited whenever I get to read him because he's an awesome character. His abilities of being able to regenerate health and the claws and just it allows him to go through so much more hell than most characters and just looks so badass when he's all torn up and shredded and just he's a fantastic character. And I've always loved the tan and brown look, but the blue and yellow is always also pretty cool. But I've always thought that his work with the X-Men was really good. And I do kind of hope that in future movies they kind of highlight a little bit more with him and Jubilee, since I think when it comes down to stories, Jubilee's kind of that right sidekick for him, just because... If
Jubilee, Cyclops are in your top 3, you're not on this podcast ever again.
I want to be 100% honest with you.
It's been good hanging out with you guys.
Nothing, in my opinion, is as classic for Wolverine as him looking at Colossus and going fastball.
Yes, 100%,
you know, I mean,
100%.
Because he had a very almost father-daughter relationship with Jubilee. Like, he kind of took her under his wing in that aspect, where he just felt sorry for her in a way that he never. I don't even want to say felt sorry for her, but he gravitated to her.
He's seen a little bit
in a
connection.
way that he wasn't going to gravitate to anyone else, right? Like, you know, when he's looking at Iceman, calling him Popsicle Brain and shit like that, you know, I mean, he's kind of the goofball, like, kind of somewhat diss on everyone around. He never does with Jubilee. You know, Jubilee's kind of like suddenly just somehow became his people. Like, he was going to protect her no matter what in that aspect. You know, obviously we know he had a thing for Rogue at one point, and then obviously the whole, you know, Phoenix, Jean Grey debacle. But, I mean, Wolverine's one of those people. He's a household name for even people who don't know or never picked up a comic book in their life. Like, that's kind of where Wolverine's gotten to over the years. So,
I'll also
obviously,
say
a lot said there.
Hugh Jackman did a fantastic job with him, obviously. brought that character to life. Like,
I mean, the actor that has to step up and play Wolverine next, I pity.
yeah.
I really
100%.
pity. I don't even know how they're going to be able to replace. You know, there's. I've always said there's certain people that once they play a role, you're like, no one's ever going to play that again. And for Wolverine, that's going to be Hugh Jackman's defining role. Is like, dude, no one ever was able to replace what you could do with that role. And there's very few actors that achieve that. You know, I can name probably on one hand people that have actually achieved that, where you're just going, yeah, no one's ever going to be able to play that role again. And I think Wolverine's going to be probably one of the toughest casting calls that Marvel Studios will ever have to make in their life.
One of their hardest decisions, hands down.
So, but yeah, I mean, solid all the way around. It's one of those beloved characters that has gotten probably more than its fair share of love, but it's never going to go away. And especially after Hugh Jackman took over the role, it just exploded. So,
It's you.
it's me?
Yeah.
Are we on 4?
Yeah. We're
Oh,
on
okay. So going almost in the opposite direction, this Marvel character, most people don't even realize is a Marvel character because he's had so much. He's kind of what I almost will say a crossover character, but Marvel's the only comic book that has ever written this character in. And I'm talking about none other than the son of Zeus, and that is Hercules. Hercules is obviously known as, you know, a demigod. Hercules obviously has much, much more well-knownness outside of the Marvel Universe. But I want to throw it out there, guys. Hercules is one of the only people in the Marvel Universe that has caught Mjolnir and thrown it back at Thor. Think about just the ramifications of that. You've got people who can't pick it up. Thor threw his hammer, he caught it and threw it back. Like, that, in my opinion, is kind of on an epic scale. And did not have an extreme amount of Marvel comic book time, in my opinion, especially over the grand scheme of Marvel books written. But fantastic every time he entered. Fantastic every time he was put into a storyline. He was never a background character once he walked through the door. He was always one of those that was that mixture of brute strength, but also intelligence, and also just had the ability to elevate, you know, whatever storyline they put him in to a degree.
I'm sorry, but every time I hear Hercules, all I hear is Eddie Murphy or whoever it was. Hercules. Who was it that did it? Was it Eddie Murphy?
Murphy, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And it was a Clumps movie or some shit.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the movie, but I know that, and when I hear Hercules, that's the first thought to come to my mind. So,
Well, what's funny is The Rock played Hercules in a film, and people to this day are like, "That was a Marvel movie." Yeah, that was right. At
Wait,
the
that
beginning
was a
of the-
Marvel movie? That's not even a joke. I didn't realize that was a Marvel
Right
movie.
at the beginning, the Marvel emblems all over the screen.
To be fair, I seen it when it first came out, and that was like 10 years ago. It was a good movie, I remember.
But yeah, that was Marvel's adaptation of Hercules coming in. You know,
Damn.
obviously people remember Young Hercules and Hercules, the TV show, and all that other stuff. But you know, yeah, definitely not Kevin Sorbo in the comics. Let's put it that way.
all right, so I'm going from number 5, guy that everybody, even if you don't watch shit or read comics, knows, to number 4 that probably only the three people in this room may or may not know, and some others may know. Actually, I brought this person up on podcast I did with my brother, and he was like, "Who the fuck is that?" So the fact that I have it this high up, I have to explain why it holds, I guess, a special part in my heart. Besides the aesthetic, which is the go-to for me, I had the figure when I was a kid, back to those Hasbro action figures, and I used to play with them. I had a wrestling federation, but I'd use X-Men figures or whatever. This guy would be my champion, just because of the way he looked, his aesthetic or whatever. I would always...
It's going to be Stretch Armstrong. Watch.
Nope.
I'll say there's a lot of build-up. You better not disappoint me.
However, it's funny that you say Stretch Armstrong, because he didn't stretch or anything, but he does have tendrils or whatever you want to...
Please don't be the person I think.
coils. Just, you hush. You can get to your fucking Cyclops and Jubilee in a second. He is a Soviet-Russian-born serial killer. The KGB captured and experimented on him to attempt to create a super soldier, the likes of like Captain America.
It's the KGB.
Coils. Coils, there we go. That's the word. Coils were put into his arms that slowly poisoned him, causing him to need to drain life force out of others to survive. And that is none other than Omega Red.
Omega Red.
Are you familiar with Omega Red? Either of you?
Yes, Omega Red
very much
was
so.
Marvel's answer to what was the dude from DC, the blue guy, kind of.
I'm not that familiar with DC. I only know a few of
He
things.
was a mix off of Ghost Rider and then Omega Red.
I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, what was his name? Shit, it's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, yes, I do remember Omega
Yeah,
Red. That was
nice.
an insane character.
He had
man.
nice Fabio blonde hair. He was red and built and white skin, if I remember correctly.
Lobo.
Oh,
The
okay.
DC character was Lobo.
And these coils that came out of his arms,
I
and
believe.
it was badass. I loved him so much, and he was my champion all the time.
More people are actually going to know about him here pretty soon because that Wolverine game's coming out.
Oh, okay.
He's actually going to be the main villain.
Oh, good.
Which one of his powers, I can't remember the name of the power, but it's some type of like death aura where essentially he disables regeneration, which is probably going to be a mechanic in the game, but that's one of the reasons why he was like one of Wolverine's big villains because he's the one character that
can do that.
basically knock out Wolverine's healing regeneration, and well, now he's vulnerable. But yeah, Omega Red, fantastic character. Love him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you know who he is then.
We're nerds. We got you.
See, Corey? People know him.
Obscure as hell, but yes.
Yeah.
One of those backseat heroes that never should have been backseat. Or villains.
When I was a kid, I saw him on the shelf, and I bought him, and then I was like, oh, this is my dude. And then he was on the animated series a couple
He
times.
was a couple times. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did have a few episodes in there in the '90s run.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he's just stuck in my head, and I've always liked him. I've got the very first comic. Actually, I've got a few of his comics, but his very first appearance, I have it graded. So, yeah, I love Omega Red.
If it makes you feel any better, someone on my list I'm going to have to do a lot of explaining for, so I got you.
Well, we are running low on time, so don't explain too much, but still get your explaining in.
Number 3.
Number 3?
Oh, wait, hold on. We got to do Marry, Fuck, Kill.
Oh.
It's your turn, Matthew.
All right, so we have Scarlett Johansson, Emmy Rossum, no idea who that is, and Demi Moore.
I will look her up.
I don't really know who Emmy Rosen or who was the last person?
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. I'm uncultured.
How do you...
Striptease, G.I. Jane.
He's only 27. How do you spell Emmy? Is it E-M-I?
M-M-Y.
Oh. E-M-M-Y? And then what's her last name?
Rossum.
Rossum. I got it.
R-O-S-S-U-M.
I got it. Oh, hey. Hello, Miss Rossum. What are you?
Ness.
What are you?
Oh, that's from a cartoon from back
Animaniacs,
in
yes.
the... Oh,
She was in
that.
she was in Shameless, Phantom of the Opera, Day After Tomorrow, Dragon Ball Evolution. She's in a lot of things. So here I will show you who she is.
Was she Christine in Phantom of the Opera?
Okay, I know who that is.
Do I need to look up Demi Moore? Do you know who Demi Moore is?
Apparently, she's a striptease.
I'll look up Demi
She's
Moore.
an actress. Striptease was a movie she was in.
Ah.
The name of the club was the Eager Beaver.
She is 62
years.
years old.
Yeah.
And then who was the other one?
Scarlett Johansson. Oh,
Okay.
that's the Black
yeah.
Widow
Yeah.
for you.
Oh, okay. You know who she is.
Okay.
All right.
I got you covered. Don't worry.
All right.
All right. So, for me, Demi Moore's out.
That
Yep.
bitch old.
Iconic.
It's her time
Still
anyway.
good looking for 60 years
Yeah,
old.
she
though.
is. She is.
Let's just be real. If I had to fill the generation gap, I'd go for it. But
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
clean the cobwebs out the rafters. Something tells me she doesn't have that problem. So, but just based on the other ones, yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to take my night with Emmy, and I'm definitely marrying Scarlett. I mean,
Okay.
not a whole lot there for me to say.
I'm probably gonna fuck Scarlett, marry Emmy, and then who was the third person?
Demi Moore.
Demi Moore. You're 62. You've lived a life. Goodbye.
Mom's going to be so disappointed in you.
Any reason for the marrying and fucking, or is it just kind of a roll of the die? What is going on?
If she hears this, you're gonna get the stink eye.
Probably. Scarlett's hot. So a night with her, I'm down for it.
So instead of living with her the rest of your life, just one time with her?
Sure.
I don't think you understand the way this works.
He just wants the nostalgia of it. To sometimes
All
the
right.
memories are better than the experience. I'm not sure.
I'm agreeing with all of your options. Demi's out the door. I never really thought she was like all that anyways. She's hot for 62. Don't get me wrong. But she was never really, I've never had a thing for her. So bye, Demi. I'm going to fuck Scarlett Johansson. Hansen, however the fuck you say her name. It's going to be a good old-fashioned
I say,
fucking.
do you want that last name if you can't pronounce it, man?
And then I'm going to marry the Emmy because out of the three, I think she is the most attractive. I believe she is the youngest, and yeah, and that's I'm marrying the most attractive one. That's the way it works. I mean,
Fine, then I'll switch. Are you happy now?
nope. You already had your options.
It's gonna be an interesting conversation when you get home. Top three, guys.
Yes, now we're in our top three.
We're in the upper echelon, approaching the dragon den.
Sniffing the dragon's lair.
That's right.
So I feel like I should apologize
The
now.
dragon.
So my number 3 is Cyclops.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Sitting beside the
I've
dragon.
I've been happy to be on this podcast, guys. Appreciate you guys. Cyclops I've just always loved as a character. Just to run through him real quick, it's one of those, I've always felt like him starting with the 1963 team for Cyclops was always really good because he felt like he had the all-star team. So it wasn't, but in terms of efficiency, it was. And it's one of those when he meets guys like, say, Wolverine, that's where they kind of butt heads because Cyclops is just like, why won't you simply follow commands? Whereas Wolverine's personality is, fuck you, I do my own thing. And that's where you kind of got two alpha males kind of fighting for dominance against each other. A lot of his stories I've also really enjoyed, and I feel like he gets a lot more hate than he should. Just saying. That also said, I do think the movies just destroyed him. But the X-Men 97 show did so much good with him and just brought him back to being a badass. But Cyclops is my third.
I mean, if a badass is someone who just fucking shoots shit out of his eyes and has to keep his eyes closed, I mean, and can't seem to lead teams and has a problem with fucking, his self because self-confidence is low. I mean, if that's what a badass is, then I guess. I'm just kidding.
I mean, you want to talk about low self-confidence? We can go back to Peter Parker.
Yeah, I was going to say, hold on.
He's
His
solo,
best
though.
friend was Gary,
He's solo.
which was, by the way, a stone gargoyle on a building. Which I get.
Hey,
Some of the
Gary
greatest,
listened, all right?
some of the greatest dialogues in Spider-Man happened while he was sitting there talking to Gary. Some of the craziest insights into who Peter Parker was during those conversations with Gary. But I mean, Cyclops is always going to be one of those iconic characters. It's going to be there. There's no way around that, right?
Yeah.
I do think Storm was probably a better leader of the X-Men than he was, but he was an OG. He was the
Wolverine.
original pick.
So is Beast.
Cyclops I've always seen as the mutant
So is
version of
Colossus.
Captain America, where it's one of those. Storm was more able to relate with the X-Men and being able to help them in their own way, whereas Cyclops was more of like a military general. You want a fast, efficient, quick plan, here's what to do, whereas Storm lent more towards a caring plan where it's like, okay, everyone get out, we're all good, that type of mentality. If that makes sense.
I mean, I can see the argument on both sides of that. Just for me, it was not going to be. I mean, I think that's probably what alienated him from a lot of fans. Was he's very cold and calculated on certain things, whereas Storm was more people generated on where they went and how they did it.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
If you were going to follow one of them, who would you be like, yeah, that's the guy I'm following? Or that's the person I'm following?
It depends on circumstance, but I would probably say I'd probably say Cyclops. primarily because it's just if you need a fast, quick plan for something that's efficient, he's kind of the guy to go to get a problem solved.
Gotcha.
Maybe not the best people person.
I wouldn't be at
but
that mansion at all because I'm a villain. Fuck superheroes. Anyways, all right. What's yours, Matthew? Your next one.
Wow. My next one is not. He was written to essentially show the struggles of coming out of defeating drugs in your life. I'm talking about none other than Sentry. Sentry was one of those guys who was pretty much a meth addict, if I'm not mistaken, and ended up getting absorbed into another dimension and given an unreasonable amount of power. And there was always that struggle between his addiction and doing the right thing. And those comic book runs were insane. The amount of how Marvel kind of went stupidly OP with this character in certain aspects. I mean, Sentry has damn near invincibility. He has taken the force of 7 exploding suns. I'm not sure why 7 is a great number for Marvel, but they run with that a lot. He has the ability to, he essentially destroyed planets on a whim game, because he was pissed off one day. He just rage destroyed a couple planets. Sentry has the ability and has literally battled Galactus out of entire planetary systems single-handedly, by the way. So there's a lot of things that he has accomplished as far as that goes, but it's another weird turmoil struggled hero, so to speak. And what makes a good hero is definitely tragedy and trauma, and he has that in spades. And it definitely just kind of shows that many scenes where he regretted a lot of what he did and trying to come to grips with the power that he now wields and what he does. But Sentry is one of those kind of cool characters that I really would hope they bring into a comic book run, or not comic book run, but into a movie run, just to see what they do with the guy.
Have you seen Thunderbolts? Isn't it called Thunderbolts?
You need to watch Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going with all this.
He's in
Oh my
Thunderbolts,
God,
and
watch-
He does. They do him so much justice.
Watch Thunderbolts. That movie's, first of all, amazing.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's got your boy in it.
Yeah, I need to.
I thought that's where this. Didn't you?
Yeah, that's where I was like, oh yeah, and then you're like, oh yeah, I hope he comes into the MCU.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
wait a minute, what?
I tried watching some of those shows. I just after like the third one, I'm going, this is garbage. I just
No.
never went back to them.
This is not. It's not a series. It's a movie.
Okay.
It came out this year. Thunderbolts with the Red Guardian and Lena Belvulva and
U.S. Agent.
USA. Yeah,
Ghost.
dude, it's good. It's so
Yeah.
good. Watch it. And now I spoiled that Sentry's in it for you, but you have something to look forward to.
Cool.
So
I'll
yeah,
have to check that out.
I really thought that's where you're going with it. Okay, cool. All right, my number 3. If you come to my house, you'll know that my next 3 are definitely my top faves because you'll see it as soon as you walk to my house. But this one, all renditions, because there's several different renditions of this individual through comics. Johnny Blaze, Danny Ketch, Alejandra Jones, Robbie Reyes. The list goes on. Do all these names ring a bell? Do you know who I'm talking about here?
I'm not very good with actor names.
No, those aren't the actors' names. That's the character's name. Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay. I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 3 for me, all renditions of Ghost Rider, whether he is on a fucking horse, a motorcycle, a fucking 350Z, it doesn't matter. Ghost Rider. That's my dude. Number 3.
I will say I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan, and I love that movie, the Ghost Rider movie.
What you said about me and Morbius? I also like the Nicolas Cage Ghost
I
Rider.
was gonna say,
But
it's Nicolas Cage. How can't you love him?
not many people do.
I loved Ghost Rider got his movie. I do not like how they portrayed the whole thing.
We've
in
had this
general.
conversation.
But yeah, Ghost Rider is one of those what I would call unsung heroes of Marvel that they haven't brought him into the main, newer run of the MCU.
Fingers crossed.
I think that he would, if done right, he would be a fucking phenomenal character in this day and age, man, without a doubt. I don't even have time to go into all his abilities, but he just freaking insanely powerful character, just in the MCU in general.
And again, I said it. His aesthetic. It's just
Oh yeah,
mind-blowing.
one of the
I-
coolest looking
yeah.
characters in the MCU, in my opinion, without a doubt.
yeah.
Just the skull, the flaming skull, the chains, the motorcycle, the arc in the comic books where he's, they splice several of the Ghost Riders from different timelines together, and he's riding down the street with galloping horses behind him. It's just freaking insane.
If I wanted to, if I were to be a dead dude from hell, that's who I wanted to.
Let's see, I would have to either be Ghost Rider or Spawn.
Yeah.
Because like
This
in
is
my
Marvel.
opinion,
This is only Marvel.
Spawn is right up there, like with insane abilities. By the way, so all right, man, down to your top two, man. Make them good.
So this one's going to
Make
take
'em good.
This is going to take a little bit of explain, but I'll try not to take too much time. For me, number 2 was Wolfsbane. I'm a very, very, very big New Mutants fan, and to me, Wolfsbane is one of the best characters because she starts off as a kid, and reading the comic books in order from when she started to where I'm at right now, you really get to watch her grow as a character. There's a portion where she has to deal with death, where the character Doug ends up dying in New Mutants, and they handled it very well where Doug is basically a character that has no physical abilities. His whole deal is being able to translate languages. Well, a battle ends up happening. He ends up trying to ask Wolfsbane for help, and she's just like, oh, well, it's Doug. He'll be fine, and goes off and fights the battle. Well, later on, they find out, okay, Doug's dead. And they did it in a way where Doug was not going to come back. And he never did come back for the New Mutants run itself. But it's one of those, each character kind of dealt with it in their own way. At one point, Wolfsbane tried to actually kill herself, and Cannonball actually stopped her. And you thought that was kind of, okay, that's all they're going to do for it. Well, the very next comic, they end up having a situation where they play out the same scene of Doug about ready to die, only Wolfsbane kind of jumps in and saves him. And you're kind of sitting there reading, like, what's going on? Are they changing the timeline? What's happening? Well, you find out she's been running danger room simulations for 3 hours straight and has looked at every calculation of what she could have done to save Doug. And the New Mutants kind of come in and they all, like, have that look of just, you're watching this poor kid break down because someone she really cared about died and she could have saved him, but she didn't. And it's one of those, like, you got to watch that happen. Then she ended up joining, which group? X Factor. And there was portions where she was overseas and seeing how men kind of treated women overseas. And she was captured. She ended up getting captured by a brother and a sister. The brother mistreated the sister. Well, the sister eventually kind of got her out, basically said, like, hey, I'll get you out of here. Well, the brother in turn ends up killing the sister. And then that's when Wolfsbane kind of snaps and ends up killing the brother. And it's one of those situations where one of her team members, Quicksilver, kind of comes by. And you kind of just see how, like, broken she is because, like, she has gone down that bad path. And again, just, it's one of those, you really get to see the growing of a character, someone going from a child and getting to see how the real world is. And there's so much more to her, but I don't want to take up too much time. But that's one of the reasons why Wolfsbane is kind of my number 2. She's not the most powerful in the world, but, like, in terms of a character, it's really fun to kind of watch her grow as a character.
Gotcha.
But I'll kind of show it.
I think like the story is what
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
to draw you to characters
Yes.
more than all right. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Oftentimes for me, just the story is kind of what grabs a hold of you and kind of keeps you reading.
For me, it's the aesthetic. For you, it's the story. What say you? What do you think really draws you to characters? Differs?
Usually the aesthetic makes me look into it, but the story is really what holds me there in the end.
Yeah,
I mean, or if I hear about a particular power they have, I kind of want to know a little more about that. And then usually the story of the character keeps me there at that point.
Okay.
Because I can't really say it's the aesthetic, because my number 2, I wouldn't really say is an aesthetically, outstanding character, but phenomenal storyline, phenomenal powers in that aspect. Because my number 2 is Franklin Richards. And what I would say, not a super aesthetic, hero by any stretch. But the
I see what you did there.
yeah. The endless bounds of what this kid ends up being able to do is ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous. All the way to the point Doom's trying to use him as a pawn to recreate and rewrite Earth and history and reality itself, because you find out he has that ability. There's just a lot of different, aspects in there that can be drawn from. But when you start looking at everything from what surrounded his birth and what they had to go through just to get him born and everything he ends up becoming, it's just an insane ride across the board. Like, you can't sit there and go, oh yeah, he's just the superhero kid. No, this is way more than him just being the superhero kid. He's just insane, and not on what I would necessarily say a bad scale is, but when Marvel just went, yeah, what do we got in the powers bucket over there? I've got about 18 of them left. Yeah, just dump them all into this kid, see what happens. Like, holy shit. Like, there's a lot of, it's almost like they were saving the most OP, powers they had to build another group of superheroes, and they just dumped it all into one kid. And
Just see what happens.
Yeah, wind that little clock up and set it loose. See what goes. Just let that shit write its own fucking story, I mean, it's basically what would happen when you give, the most overpowered kid in the world a Red Bull, and then you just turn that little bitch outside and see what happens, I mean, shit's gonna happen. Let's just be real. Like, but yeah, man, like, Franklin Richards becomes one of the most insane characters, and for the longest time, you really don't know if he's going to tip for the good or bad side.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what really holds me in a storyline for someone like that.
And he's another one of those characters that, if you read through, you can kind of see him grow as a character and learn to kind of cope with that power. Because, I mean, you don't want to piss that kid off, but at the same time, he's got to keep his anger and his emotions in check, because, he can unwrite reality. Because
for everyone else, you'll have origin issues. But for people like Wolfsbane, people like Franklin Richards, you follow that whole growing up cycle and what happens in that struggle, which is just a whole nother... I'm glad they didn't do it for every single superhero out there, but because when you get it for certain mutants or certain superheroes, it almost makes it more special. Like, you're getting a glimpse into something you're almost not supposed to be seeing. So,
forgive me, for Fantastic Four was one of the comics I was least drawn to. I know a little about it, but and then the movies were all trash, except for the most recent one. Except for the most recent one. Have you seen the most recent one?
I have not.
Son of a bitch, have you seen the most recent one?
I hate the Fantastic Four with a burning passion, but that was a pretty good movie.
Okay, so what I'm asking here is Franklin the baby, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
He's the baby.
That's why. Okay, because they have a baby in the movie. Obviously, that's what the movie is, and I just didn't know if that was. I can't remember if they called him Franklin in the movie or not.
To be fair, they do name him Franklin.
In the movie?
Yes.
I couldn't remember if they called him Franklin. Like, I didn't even remember if they ever said a name.
Did they have to travel to the other dimension to get the rod?
It's a whole thing. I think he's just born naturally, but with them being superpowered, it messes with his genes, and they can't tell how powerful he's going to be.
Drop the ball on that so bad. All right.
Sir, you have to watch the movie.
Yeah, it's.
Why don't you just go
hard
watch
to
movies?
explain.
Ah,
I mean, I do.
apparently you don't.
I just don't watch all the movies you guys watch on a nightly basis.
You don't live your life around Marvel? What the heck, man?
No, not so much anymore. So there was a time.
There
was a time. I have I have several long boxes full of invested money in comics, my man. So, all right, man.
Number two for you, sir.
We are at the top. We are
Yes.
at the pinnacle.
Number 2.
Time to.
Talking about the top, talking about the pinnacle. I'll argue to the death that this is the most powerful of them all. I don't care what anybody fucking says. My brother included. He'll say it's Galactus. He'll say it's Magneto. Some will say it's fucking Phoenix. Some will say it's Wanda. I'm sure you guys will say fucking certain people as well.
I think I know where you're going.
But this is my number 2. There is one that I like a little bit more. They're interchangeable. Let's be honest. It's 1, 2. Sometimes I flip-flop. Anyways, it is one of the first known mutants, possibly the first known. That is none other than Apocalypse. There's no one more powerful. I don't want to hear it. You can try.
One above all.
There's no one more powerful. You can try.
So I'll at least say with Apocalypse, I do like him as a character, but again, with me reading the comics in order, I've not really gotten to the Age of Apocalypse comic, so my opinion might change on him once I read that. But that said, like, he is aesthetically, he is a very cool character. The only frustrating thing is just, like you said, there's no limit to his powers. You don't really know how powerful he actually is. And yeah, sometimes that's a little frustrating. It's like, well, why don't he just simply grow big and step on these guys? That type of mentality.
I mean, at certain points, I would put him underneath the list of gods of Marvel, because there is a very distinct list of gods of Marvel. Especially when you're looking at like Zeus, Odin, Apocalypse. You look at the Tribunal, the one below, the one above, the Watchers of all things, are semi in that god tier of Marvel.
Yeah.
But
Beyonders.
yeah, the Beyonders would be in that god tier of Marvel. They really could care. The Beyonders are the people who sat there and went, "Oh, Thanos has the gauntlet. They'll figure it out." I mean, they literally had like zero fucks that Thanos had a gauntlet. The only time they gave a fucks
He's got a shiny glove.
was
Good
when
for him.
Thanos actually absorbed solar systems into him when he got the what was it? I think it was the Creation Stone or whatever. That's when they were like, fuck, all right, we'll eat dinner when we get back. Like that was kind of when they got off their ass and decided to do some shit. So I mean, it's really hard to say they're, the most powerful in Marvel. I mean, you're looking at God tier, what I call, double S tier freaking characters at that point. So that's definitely a debate of all debates.
Not with me.
But at the core of it, I mean, Apocalypse was a fantastic story arc, regardless, because that's where you really start digging up moral dilemmas at that point.
Yeah.
Because he's seen all of history play out. So change his mind on why he wouldn't want to do what he does, why he has the 4 horsemen, why he decides to bring his own twisted method of balance to the world. It's like I said, there's 100 different ways you can debate Apocalypse. Regardless, probably one of the most, in my opinion, iconic players that graft the story of not just the X-Men, but the Marvel Universe in general.
And as always, Sony did him dirty.
Yeah.
My number 1 and my number 2 have both been done dirty. And I'm very frustrated about it, but it's okay.
Age of Apocalypse is a dirty pleasure of mine. Not even going to lie.
Very, very interesting the way it played out. I did like this. I love X-Men, so I like the movies.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they weren't trash, but I love the movies.
Yes.
So it's a very difficult range that I sit in on the X-Men films.
I love them all except for X-Men Last Stand, and that kind of plays into my number 1.
Well, we're there.
We're there, man.
What is it?
Let's go.
So my number 1 is...
I don't care. I'm just kidding.
Go figure.
Jubilee.
Okay, I really don't care. If it's Jubilee, I really don't care.
My number 1 is the Juggernaut.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
I am an absolute fanboy. If you sit there and say, "Hey, Ricky, talk for the next 2 days about Juggernaut," I'll do it.
Do me a
we don't
favor.
have that
Don't
time.
talk for the next 2 days.
my
But
God.
I know.
He Deadpool's for Juggernaut, apparently.
Oh, dude, when Deadpool 2 dropped and Juggernaut popped out, I am in a packed theater and I am squealing to the top of my lungs because it's like, it's Juggernaut.
We're not taking Ricky to the theater. I'll be like, I'm going to move a couple seats down. Like, hey, do you all mind if I sit with you?
But yeah, just he's amazing as a character. I think he's more complex than people give him credit for. A lot of people just see him as the big bruiser, which in some comics he is. But like when you look at his backstory with him being the stepbrother of Charles Xavier and the fact that like his dad did not love him, it's one of those.
There's another one with daddy issues.
It creates a complex character because like in some ways he's a child at heart. His duo with Black Tom Cassidy is fantastic because like he will move hell and high water for anyone he's loyal to. There are times where he will flat out like say, screw the mission, I need to go save Black Tom because Black Tom's in trouble. And I mean, he's ultra powerful. He's got healing regeneration. It's at the level of Wolverine. His powerless is insane. And it's also just like the fact like anytime he's in a fight, 90% of the time to take out the Juggernaut, it's not by knocking him out. It's literally by getting him out of the way or getting him out of the fight. He went up against the Hulk, and the Hulk literally had to outsmart the Juggernaut by simply just jumping out of the way and letting Juggernaut just keep running for however long. Which on one side, it's a testament to how tough he is. At the same time, the Hulk outsmarted him, so he ain't got a lot going on up there. But yeah, just Juggernaut's my absolute favorite, and I love him to death. But yeah,
No qualms.
That's my number one.
no qualms with that at all.
The crazy part about X-Men in general is there are certain storylines where you see loyalty is either they have loyalty like to their team, they're going to go into fight with them, they're going to have their back, and then you see different levels of loyalty like Juggernaut or another one that comes to mind is Blob.
Yeah.
Anybody that was ever nice to Blob and treated him like an equal, he would literally lay and die for. Like it was that's just the kind of guy he was.
He just want to be loved and respected.
He just wanted to be a part of something, and if anybody, showed him that humanity side, he was going to be the most loyal thing ever. And Juggernaut had a lot of that same way with, obviously Black Tom but he also knew that there was other things out there, which is why his helmet blocked Xavier, which is why his helmet, that a lot of people don't realize, was made by Magneto to not only block Xavier, but Magneto couldn't manipulate it.
Yeah.
It was made out of something from another world or something that Magneto couldn't manipulate. It actually absorbed any kind of magnetic pull that he would use to manipulate his helmet.
And
that way, so that Magneto couldn't double cross him if he was in the presence of Xavier. That's exactly why it was made.
And the cool thing about Juggernaut is oftentimes when he's in fights, if he loses a fight, he learns from his mistakes. One of the first times he fought, they simply removed his helmet and bam, it's down. Or manipulate his mind, done. Second fight, he's got that thing bolted down. Okay, you bolted it down, they open it up, bam. Third time, they open up the helmet, there's a second helmet. Swear to God, it's a thing. But just he learns from each
Gotcha, bitch.
He learns from each fight, so he's not stupid in that sense, but like
Right.
you can kind of get one over on him because he's not the brains, he's the brawn.
I love that pick, and I love that it's the number one. Juggernaut and Sabretooth were two people that I like teetered or teased, like getting on my list, but I ultimately left them off, obviously.
Sabretooth's on my honorable mentions just because anytime he fights Wolverine, it's entertaining.
I think I know. Actually, I'm not going to say I think. I know who your number one is. Do you know who mine is? Just curious.
Possibly the same. I don't know.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably narrowed it between two for you, but
Okay.
some of what you've had on your list has been slightly surprising so far. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's probably any game there. My number one, I will die on the hill that he is the strongest X-Men. As far as that goes.
There's no way that you're leaving this person off of your list. Go ahead.
He just got really offended.
Wow, I think he did. This is the one X-Men I think that, in my opinion, was basically left to do dirty work that no other X-Men wanted to do, and he always accomplished the task. This X-Men ended up becoming one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh.
This X-Men always pined for another X-Men and knew he would never make it.
We're back on the same track.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about
And
now.
knew he would never be able to fulfill that. So he was very willing to live in proximity, knowing he would never have what he wanted. And he is also one of those that became excruciatingly loyal to Nightcrawler and to Rogue. No matter what, he was going to be there for them. The reason he became one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse was to save one of those characters. He was able to beat mind manipulation by not only Jean Grey, but Professor Xavier. And at one point, in a fit of rage, he charged the entire fortress of... God, now I can't remember the villain's name. It's going to piss me off. The main villain from the Deadpool game, if anyone played it.
Oh, Mr.
Sinister charged his entire fortress to blow it off of Kingdom Come. But I am talking about none other than the Raging Cajun, and that's Gambit.
You started it with the strongest of the X-Men. Just the word strongest, I didn't think Gambit. I'm thinking like Colossus or something. So I'm like, there's no fucking way Gambit is not on his list. Okay. All right.
I intentionally... I could have built a top 10 list based on X-Men characters alone.
Yeah.
So easily. So when I had to
No,
actually...
not easily. It would have been harder.
I will say when
Well, for me, it would
I
have
just
been.
would have listed every X-Men out and be like, okay, 99% of this is honorable mentions, but I have 114 list here of X-Men, and it still would have ended number 1 with the same character
Yes.
regardless,
Yeah.
because I mean, you're talking about Gambit has fought Blade, Gambit has fought so many different adversaries that they underestimated, and he's always come out on top. Like, he is somebody who grew up in the Assassin's Guild, also ended up switching and running the Thieves Guild. This guy is on a mental level that is a different level than most anyone he will come across in the X-Men universe. While they're all sitting down there talking about, well, I don't know if we should do this, and this might look bad on us. He's like, it just has to be done. And he's the one that ends up doing it. Like, he's the one that does those semi-dirty little jobs that no one else really wants to commit to. And more often than not, he got left out to dry on several of them. Like, I just saved you guys. I just kept this, and this is how you're... And he still comes back because his relationship with Kurt and his relationship with Rogue was something he was never going to leave. So that loyalty plays back into it as well.
The thing I always found interesting with him when it came down to the stories was more often than not the X-Men will look at him like a wild card, when in reality he's a guy that just wants to do the right thing. And it's one of those, more often than not, it's like, oh, well, Gambit's going to do his own thing, or Gambit's going to do this. But it's like, when the mission plays out, Gambit's going to do what Gambit needs to do the right thing.
And a lot of times when the mission plays out, they're like, shit, he just pulled the move that turned the entire tide of this whole thing.
Exactly.
Like, it's like they're glad he's there, but then they underutilize him every fucking time. Like, oh, that's Gambit. He's got the cards. Bitch, those cards have saved your ass I don't know how many times. You know, the staff and just his overall ability. It's just, I don't know. I have a tattooed tribute for Gambit, so I can't say shit.
Which, a fun fact, something I ended up telling him that I don't know if you know. Do you know what Gambit's original color was for his powers? Because it was not pink, surprisingly.
It depends on which origin arc you're going with, but
The very first one when he meets Storm.
so the original issue.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been so long.
Right.
I own that issue. I don't open that issue because it is sealed. When you say it was either blue or green?
It was green.
Yeah,
It
okay,
really
green.
threw me off because I was like, wait a minute, I thought it
Yeah.
was supposed to be pink, and then
Yeah.
they change it like the next issue or two later to pink. I'm like, all right, this is
Because
proper.
They do an origin story for him like a couple issues later, and when he opens his eyes, it's that pink glow.
Yeah.
Because he was born that way, and he was dropped off at the steps of the guild.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I was going to say it's either blue or green, I think. But yeah. Yeah. I do have a first edition run, which everybody who owns it is a first. They only did one printing of the appearance of Gambit.
See, totally
So-
Inappropriates is both informative and educational.
We're not totally inappropriates. We're the inappropriates. Quit trying to change the name.
Sorry, the Inappropriates.
I've only known you for going on 2 years, but there's some things that I have picked up and remember about you, and Gambit was one of those things. I knew that you had Gambit tattoo.
Is my favorite superhero of all time.
Fun fact for you, your daughter's favorite wrestler, Ace Austin, which, by the way, I went to Pro Wrestling Revolver show last night. Ace Austin was there. It was
Nice.
a really good show. Myron Reed got married, and as expected, it was disastrous because Dave Chris came out wearing a Scream face mask and ruined the whole thing. But anyways, besides the point, the reason I brought this up was because Ace Austin, he used
Good job, Dave. I appreciate you, my brother.
he used to come out and he had a staff that was what would you call it, like
An expandable staff.
yeah, he would have it in his hand so you didn't see it, and he'd come in and do a little flip or whatever, and then like that, and it would expand. And he also has cards, so he's very Gambit-esque.
Yes,
I didn't know if you knew that about him or
My
not.
daughter has 2 signed ace cards by him, by the way.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
prominently displayed
Yeah. So,
for her. So, yeah, super cool, man.
all right. So that brings me to my final number 1. Like I said, number 1 and 2 for me is really interchangeable any given day. If I could combine the two, it'd be amazing. He is a serial killer. Well, his first host was a serial killer. He is the symbiote known as Carnage.
Oh.
That is my all-time, like I said, Apocalypse, Carnage, flip-flop. But I am a super huge Carnage fan. Over Venom, over Scream, over all of the other symbiotes or whatever. Carnage is my go-to, always has been, always will be. I love me some Carnage. And Cletus Cassidy is amazing. They did him dirty in the Venom, what's the movie called? Venom, Let There Be Carnage?
Yeah.
They did him dirty because they killed him at the end. Not sure why
I
they
liked
would.
Woody Harrelson playing him.
That was
Dude, that was
yes,
like the
that was
bright spot
perfect.
for me. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And I mean, fun fact about Carnage: Sentry did fly him into space and rip him in half. So just to throw in the
So that would have been a better
extra
ending.
power.
That would have been better.
Because what happens is because he's in space, his planet collects the particles and puts them back together. So Carnage does come back again.
See? But they didn't leave that at all opening at the end of Let There Be Carnage. They just
I do think he was
killed
done
him.
dirty because they left it in a one movie stance. I think
Exactly.
Carnage could have had some reoccurring roles that would have been really cool down the line.
Exactly.
And would have given Woody Harrelson a reason to come back to the MCU. So.
Exactly.
He's one of the main symbiotes. They shouldn't have
Yeah,
killed him off.
Carnage. And when you look at all the symbiotes that have been introduced in the Marvel comics, like Venom's one of the lower. He's not like an overpowering huge force.
He's actually kind of weak at times.
he's actually overpowered for Earth.
Yeah.
But there are so many other symbiotes that come to Earth that is just he's not even in their league type scenario. And Carnage was one of those that was several steps above him, like as far as that goes. So still really cool. And Carnage Venom's already been tied to Fantastic Four and a few other comics as far as how he got to Earth. So all right. Good times, man. That was a good list.
Yeah. It did run long, but that's fine. I kind of expected it to with the three of us talking.
Well, after all the
kinda shit.
screw ups, we were about right on.
There were no screw ups whatsoever. It was perfectly executed.
You have a blooper reel you can put together. at
There's
some
no
point.
such thing. I don't know what you're
There's
talking
no such thing as a blooper reel.
I will say I do like how all three of our lists were from different points of views when it comes down to Marvel.
It was. It really was.
But overall, we still managed to cross storylines quite a bit.
Yeah.
If it wasn't
And matched.
directly in there, it was family adjacent or things of that nature.
Yep.
Oh.
Which is super cool.
Would you have to finish with a Mary Fuck Kill? Instead of drawing the cards, I'm just going to give 3 Marvel characters. How about that?
Alrighty.
Okay, well, I won't throw Storm in there because That's obviously given what I'm going to say, so we won't throw in Storm. But however, how about we throw in Deadpool and Cable, and why not Bishop?
Oh, good God.
That's a hard one.
That's gross. I don't want to hear about this.
I mean, technically at some point.
Well, for somebody, but it doesn't have to be you.
Wait a minute. In the Deadpool situation, am I the unicorn or am I
Whatever you want.
All right, so I guess I'll go. We're killing Cable.
Okay, hold on. Are you doing this comic book or real life?
Either one. I don't want that bionic arm grabbing anything on me.
Well, I know, but which one?
Valid.
Like, you got to.
That squeeze would be holy fuck. Jesus. Let go.
Is Josh Brolin or
Drop off the
Comic-
Kung Fu grip. Sorry.
Josh Brolin? Is that his name that plays Cable? Right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's his name. So are you going Josh Brolin or are you just going comic book Cable?
They're
Like,
both getting killed. It doesn't matter.
Neither of them are seeing the light of day anymore.
Sweet Jesus, if they come in from shoveling the driveway, that's gonna be one cold ass grip too. Like I don't need to add shrinkage onto damage. I'll have to take the very unpredictable night with Deadpool at that point. God only knows what's going to happen there, and I may not be able to survive a lifetime of it. So, and I guess that leaves me with Marion Bishop. So,
that's it. That's why. Because you left with Bishop. There's no reason. Just
pretty much.
okay.
I mean,
That was underwhelming.
I mean, I'm not overly.
Apparently,
on
so was the sex.
I'm not overly. Hey, you know what? When it comes to me and three dudes, it's gonna be the most underwhelming sex that's ever happened. Like, I'm gonna have to be watching porn on my phone to stay in the game type
right.
shit. Let's be honest. Like,
All right, Ricky, let's hear it.
So I think I'm gonna go with the kill Cable for the same reason. That
What are you
bionic
gonna watch?
arm. What?
No, I was being dumb. Go ahead.
training porn.
But yeah, that bionic arm that cannot feel good. I am gonna
Y'all
change.
got
it.
this wrong, man. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna change it though. Fucking Bishop, and the main reason is marrying Deadpool. If you can get Deadpool's protection, that could save your ass. Especially with him being able to manipulate reality as far as like the whole cartoon logic that he's got. There's some situations where that would either be really entertaining, really funny, or really protective. So that'd probably be where I'd marry Deadpool.
Okay, let me throw this in your brain real quick. Deadpool's in love with death. The actual character, Death.
Yeah,
Deadpool on
Big
many
cool threesome.
on many occasions has fucked death.
Big cool threesome.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time. All right, that could be it.
Okay, apparently Necro is completely on his list. Holy hell!
Don't worry about it.
Making no bones about it. That is definitely one of my.
right.
All right. So let's hear the most logical reason.
That bionic arm that you guys are all immediately ruling out could be the best hand job of your fucking life, or if you like butt play. I don't know, but I don't
It'd be
think
the last hand
I
job
don't-
you'd ever have.
I don't think you should automatically rule it out. However, I'm also going to kill Cable because I just have no interest in Cable.
Look, you're both wrong, but you're right at the same time.
My thing is, what if he's out and he gets in a scrap and there's a nick on one of those fingers?
That's fair.
And he just
Oh, it's
slices
done.
your dick open on that hand
That is
job.
fair.
And that's assuming the Cable's giving you a hand job. But like,
Yeah.
it might be one of those relationships where he ain't touching you, but you're gonna handy the hell out of him. Or I'm not even sure how this works.
That's fair.
I just see blood and pain.
There's no good part of that.
Is he a time traveler as well?
Yes, he is.
Him and Bishop are both
Yes.
time travelers.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
they are.
I could reverse this around. I'm gonna stick with just killing Cable. I'm going to.
And not to mention, if it's really bad sex or it's traumatizing, they could just take you back in time and make you watch it all
Hold on.
over again.
I'm
Like,
getting-
watch me rape you.
I'm
Here's
getting.
your most humiliating moment. Watch it again.
I'm getting to that. I'll still go ahead and just kill Cable. I have no attraction to Cable, so we'll go ahead and off him.
I would hope that you wouldn't have an attraction towards Cable. That's just me, though.
I'm going to have a wild, fun time with Deadpool. If he wants to involve death, it would be a cool threesome. Sure, let's go. And then I'm going to marry Bishop.
Stick your dick in death. You come out with flesh-eating bacteria. You go from like a 6 to a 2.5. Like, what the fuck?
5 inches with the curve. We've covered this. Anyways, and I'm going to marry Bishop because if I realize it was the wrong decision, I can have him take me back in time and I can make a different choice. Hey, there's the right answer. You could also do that with Cable, though. So. Speechless. Left you speechless. See? Had the right answer.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's what we call cartoon logic, people.
Hey, you guys didn't say if you wanted to go with the humans or the character or the cartoons, so
I think we were just going characters based on the list, but you know. Either way, I don't want a steel-handed hand job. I wouldn't choose Colossus for the same fucking reasons. Like what the hell if something happens and you're getting a handy from human Colossus and then the metal comes out and pinches your dick or some shit? Like, it's not a good scenario, y'all. All you hear is clink, 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 clink. God damn it. What the fuck? Let go. Release.
What do you think fleshlights are? I mean, come on. That's all it is.
They're not metal.
They're not metal.
They are on the inside. They have the rubber on, like, to protect you. But
I'm not fucking raw steel in a fleshlight, bro.
well, no, if you take the fucking rubber off, it's metal.
Who takes the rubber off and then shoves their dick back?
I'm not
in?
saying
oh
that-
my God.
Whoever takes the rubber off is a damn psychopath. All right, that's all I'm saying.
What sadomasochist is like, hey, you
Don't
want a
fucking-
fleshlight? Now let me pull this out of here.
Don't judge me.
This is the good
Hey,
part.
stop judging me. Stop it. No. I'm just saying that if you take the rubber out, it's metal. I guess, is it plastic or is it metal? No, it's metal. There's metal.
I think it's, I don't know. I've never taken one apart.
Give me a couple hours. I'll let you know.
All right. Science part of our next fucking show.
Again, educational and informative.
Guys, if you're still here, give us a thumbs up. We really would appreciate that. And if you did like the show, sneak over to the 5-Star Buttons house and take the fleshlight rubber out of its fleshlight and see what happens. Okay, that's all I'm going to say, y'all sadomasochist motherfuckers. Anyway, I think that's where we're dropping this before this gets... Yeah, I mean, the only thing we're missing now is whips and chains. No comments. I'm not going down that particular rabbit hole. All right, here we go. Here at the end, guys. Check us out on social media. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter at _inappropriates_podcast.
On Twitter, it's actually 2 inappropriates. I figured that out.
We are doubly inappropriate on X, y'all.
Yeah, just 2 inappropriates. But the Instagram, which is where most of the content is the __ the _inappropriates _podcast.
Cool. So check us out there, and we appreciate you listening. If you still listen next week or in 2 weeks, Jesus, God bless you. Thank you for coming back.
Peace.
Have a week.
So fucking inappropriate.